In response to the Steering Online Success Initiative, I want to briefly highlight 3 technologies that I have used to facilitate both fully online and remote instruction. And those technologies are Panopto to record lectures. Secondly, I'll look at the use of my iPad and an Apple Pencil to create a digital whiteboard, which is certainly helpful when you're teaching a more quantitatively oriented class and want to solve problems. And then finally, the use of Proctorio for remote administration of exams and proctoring of those exams. So what you see on the screen is the Canvas site for my Probability and Statistics course for fall 2019. You see Panopto's already been added to the course. You can certainly add it if it's not present by going through Settings. So I'm going to select Panopto, and first thing you'll see once it loads is that it lists all of the previous session recordings. And obviously this is a good resource for students, but also it's a good resource for faculty as well. There have been occasions where, for one reason or another, I lost a recording, it didn't get properly uploaded, or it wasn't uploaded in a timely manner. And even though that's been a rare occurrence, thankfully, when it has occurred, I've been able to leverage a previous lecture. So it becomes a good archive for me as an instructor as well. But certainly the primary purpose is to make the lecture material available asynchronously to students. So to begin a new recording, we simply hit Create. We're going to record a new session. We're given the option to select our video and audio inputs. So you can see I'm using my AirPod, or AirPods, but you can simply or certainly use your computer audio, and that seems to do an adequate job as well. Just picks up a bit more ambient noise sometimes. There is a default location, and 99% of the time that's correct. And when you finish your recording and upload it, it will go directly to your Canvas site. On the rare occasion where that has been wrong and I didn't catch it, it was a simple matter for IT to locate the file on the hard drive and then place it in the right location. I normally go with the default session title, but you're free to change that as well. So simply hit record. We teach or deliver our lecture as we normally would, and at the conclusion hit stop, and you're given the option to upload it. And again, assuming that the folder is correct, it will directly get populated on your Canvas site. So that's the use of Panopto to record our lectures. I also want to talk about the use of in my case, an iPad and Apple Pencil to create a digital whiteboard. But I know others who have used their Surface Pro or another tablet, right? So as long as you have a device with a touch screen, and it's helpful, I think, to have a digital pen, then this should work. So I'm thankful to my colleagues, Susanna, Lai Yuan, and Cheng Kwan, and Hadi Chakard, and maybe Devashish Das as well. I think they kind of clued me in on the use of these technologies in tandem. So In my case, I'm using QuickTime Player, and I'm going to start a new movie recording. And my iPad is connected to my iBook in this case through the Lightning to USB connector. The default when I opened QuickTime was to use my computer camera as the default, but I'm going to change it now to my iPad. And with that as the source, you can now see my screen. Now, there are many applications you can use, and I guess the neat thing is you could even use Excel and Word. You can access, your browser, so anything that you're doing on your tablet, your iPad will show up on the screen. I simply use the default notes, and this enables me to now write on the screen. And thankfully, change colors so that things are more visible. It certainly helps to be able to, on occasion, highlight things. You can even, if necessary, highlight things in that manner. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. But the most important thing is I can now, from a remote location, still write formulas and solve math problems and capture that on the screen for the students. And it's nice that it serves as an archive as well, right? So you can reference things that maybe you previously said in a lecture, whether it was 15 minutes ago or, depending on how you save things, 2 days ago. It's all saved and available for quick reference. So that is certainly very, very, very helpful. All right, so the last thing I want to briefly show you is the use of Proctorio to proctor exams that are given in a remote manner. So I'll quickly show you, for example, under quizzes, let's say I want to create a new exam. What you'll see initially is under the options, there is no place where I can choose Proctorio. All right. Oh, well, that was supposed to be the case, but actually it does show up. If it doesn't, I should have set this up better so I could show you, but I'll show you anyway. It does show up in my case, because I must have already changed the settings. And yeah, I have. So in order for that to show up as an option, you must have selected Secure Exam Proctor. Note that it does not say Proctorio. So look for Secure Exam Proctor. You'll have to drag it up and make it a menu item, and then save it. So that's important. So if it doesn't show up as an option for you, then make sure that you have made Secure Exam Proctor or Proctorio available by doing that. And also note that it still will not show up on this left-hand menu, right? So it's sort of in the background doing its thing. There's no need for you to select it here. But once you have successfully added it to your course, when you go to quizzes and you create a new quiz, it will now show up as an option, and you can select it And now, once you select it, there are various Proctorial settings. I'm not going to go through all this. There are numerous settings. There are some default settings that you can use, but are you going to record video? Do you want to record audio? Do you want to record the screen? What information are you trying to gather? What actions do you want to prevent? There are numerous options available. And again, my intent is not to go through those, but just to show you mainly how to access it. It is certainly not a foolproof system. Even with the use of Proctorio, just in spring 2020, I failed, unfortunately, 5 students because of academic dishonesty. And I know other of my colleagues in the department have done the same. Unfortunately, it's kind of silly, but 2 students got caught because they were sitting right next to each other. Of course, with the camera on from Proctorio. And it was just enough. I guess what they saw on the screen wasn't quite everything that was being captured. And you could see the other person sitting next to them, and that's how they got caught. But it's not foolproof. I think it may be a bit of a deterrent. Students know that you're being proactive in some way. So I think it is effective in that regard. But again, I still had to fail students. And what I look for is suspicious some sort of indication of suspicious behavior on the exam itself, and then maybe I'll go back to the video and see if that's somehow corroborated. And in my case, that's how I caught all 5 students, but I'm sure there are many students who I missed. So it's not foolproof, but I'd say it's better than nothing, and it's showing that we're doing some due diligence in trying to prevent such behavior. So I think I'm going to leave it there, but if there's anyone who's interested, I can show examples of the videos that are captured. I think I'm able to do that despite it shows actual students. But for these purposes, I think that would be permissible, but didn't want to record that. But I can show you that offline. So hope this was helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to follow up with me in person.